Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Evening Devotion. Tonight we're going to be reading out of Luke 22:46. Why sleep ye? Rise and pray, lest ye enter into temptation. That is the verse. Interesting, he says, get up and pray, that way you don't enter into temptation. I wonder if he was teaching us a lesson. Temptation's coming? Pray. Maybe. Let's go up a few. Jesus prays on the Mount of Olives, and here he's going to repeat that statement. Starting verse 39. Coming out, he went to the Mount of Olives, as he was accustomed, and his disciples also followed him. So one of Jesus' favorite spots to hang out was the Mount of Olives. When he came to the place, he said to them, pray that you may not enter into temptation. He's telling them specifically, pray that temptation doesn't come upon you. I wonder if that's a lesson for us. I think so. And this is a statement. This is a command of the many commands he gave. And he was withdrawn from them about a stone's throw, and he knelt down and prayed. So a stone's throw, about 80 yards, 60 to 80 yards. Saying, Father, if it is your will, take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done. Then an angel appeared to him from heaven, strengthening him. And being in agony, he prayed more earnestly. Then his sweat became like great drops of blood falling down to the ground. A lot of people disagree on this. This is an actual medical condition that was known about back then. Luke would have known exactly what this was. I forget the name, but you can look it up. I've seen it because I grew up around bodybuilders and powerlifters, and I've seen it happen under great strain. Blood will come out of your pores. Witnessed it with our own eyes. It's something that happens. A lot of people disagree and say, no, that's not what it was saying. That's exactly what it was saying. It literally proves it in the verse. He was in agony. Agony is extreme pain and discomfort, extreme strain. He prayed more earnestly. He prayed more intently. Then his sweat became like great drops of blood falling down to the ground. His blood wanted to be shed for the sin so much that it actually was trying to get out. he couldn't help. This was all foretold. This is all something that was set in motion, millennia ago. It was going to happen. At this point, it was already happening. He had to be in this type of agony for us. So a lot of people say, well, he didn't suffer that much. Well, who do you know that his sweat, drops of blood, due to intense stress and terror and agony? I don't. I've seen bodybuilders and powerlifters do it. That was because they were lifting weight that was too much for them. They were pushing their body past its limit. The first powerlifter that ever lifted 1,000 pounds, when he picked it up, and so it was deadlift, and blood came out of his eyes, his nose, he sweat, blood came out of his ears. He had to go to the hospital. It took him forever to recover. So this is a real thing. And he really did do this. And every now and then when I get on this subject in a video, somebody will stumble across it and they'll come in and complain in the comments. What's the problem with him sweating blood? It's an actual medical condition. Quite well known, especially back then. When he rose up from prayer and had come to his disciples, he found them sleeping from sorrow. Then he said to them, why do you sleep? Rise and pray, lest you enter into temptation. And then it goes into his betrayal. When is the Christian most liable to sleep? Is it not when his temporal circumstances are prosperous? I will tell you this. That's true. But I'll also tell you that whenever somebody is extremely worn out and stressed out, they'll sleep too. When my mother-in-law passed at the end of July last summer, and then we had a month and a week, but the whole thing was going to hospitals and going to doctor's appointments because my mom and dad were back in and out of the hospital. And then my dad went on hospice and we had to go get him. and bring him back and get it. He went on hospice and ended up dying a month and a week later. So all this stuff was unfolding all within a month and a week time frame. By the time we got to when he passed, I had had 30 minutes sleep that night. I think in the last 3 days, I only had about 4 hours. I was exhausted. And I was so tired and so stressed out, and I was nauseated. And I was like, guys, if y'all got this, I got to go lay down. I couldn't help it. And so I went and I laid down and went to sleep. So when things are good, yep, sleep is sweet, depending on your circumstances. But even when in high stress situations, sometimes sleep comes and you can't help it. Sometimes it's an escape. At least while I'm asleep, I don't have to stress over this. But then the stressor is still there when we wake up. Have you not found it so? Sure. When you had daily troubles, to take to the throne of grace, were you not more wakeful than you are now? Easy roads make sleepy travelers. Another dangerous time is when all goes pleasantly in spiritual matters. Christian went not to sleep when lions were in the way, or when he was wading through the river, or when fighting with Apollyon. But when he had climbed halfway up the hill difficulty and came to the delightful arbor, he sat down and forthwith fell asleep, to his great sorrow and loss. So this is all true. This is all true. When things are in a rough circumstance, we tend to stay awake. Sleep can come for us. We tend to stay awake. I think a lot of times the sleep comes easily in those stressful situations because we're not so, even though they're stressful, even though there's trouble, we're not so focused on it and we're not so worried about it because it's in the Lord's hands. And so we're a little more at peace. But there is a great deal of, if there's a great deal of stuff going on, it's hard to fall asleep because your mind is always working on it. But as soon as things level out, it's easy to fall back to sleep. The enchanted ground is a place of balmy breezes, laden with fragrant odors and soft influences, all tending to lull pilgrims to sleep. Remember Bunyan's description? Then they came to an arbor, warm and promising much refreshing to the weary pilgrims, for it was finely wrought above head, beautified with greens, and furnished with benches and settles. It had also in it a soft couch where the weary might lean. The arbor was called the slothful's friend, and was made on purpose to allure, if it might be, some of the pilgrims to take up their rest there when weary. So if we know that's the case, then we know, no, I'm going to stay awake. I'm going to keep going until I reach the actual haven. But there's always a temptation to pull off and stop. Depend upon it. It is in easy places that men shut their eyes and wander into the dreamy land of forgetfulness. Old Erskine wisely remarked, I like a roaring devil better than a sleeping devil. There is no temptation half so dangerous as not being tempted. I'll tell you this. So in African countries, certain places, they worry about lions. When they can hear the lions, they're okay. When they don't hear them, that's what's the problem. Same thing here in my area, coyotes. You hear the coyotes, you know where they are. And this is for people who know. Most people don't know. They have no clue. People move out here and they get on Nextdoor and stuff like that, and they start going, what is all them dogs yipping and all that noise out there, all this hollering and everything? Those are coyotes. They live all around this area. You are in their territory, and so they will come into your yard. They call them song dogs. They will go out there and they will sing their song at night, especially when they're hunting. When they go quiet, that's when it gets scary, because you'll hear 40 or 50 of them just going crazy because they're hunting and they're chasing stuff to them, to a quiet group, and then they jump them, but then they get silent. It goes dead quiet, and nothing makes any noise. No night animals, no night birds, no bugs. Everything is dead silent. Then it gets a little scary, because then you don't know where they are, and you can't tell where they are. So when the danger suddenly gets very quiet, So it's time to pay attention. That's what's time to watch. It's not the time to lay down and rest. That's what's time to watch. Watch close. Because that means evil could be stalking. When things get really good, the enemy is always working in the background. When things are quiet and peaceful, the enemy is always working in the background. So we have to pay attention. We have to be on guard. We have to watch. Things are going to get pretty good in this country. We still see that there's problems, but things are going to get very good in this country. Next year may be a big eye-opener for a lot of people. Things may get very good all of a sudden. I think they're going to. Really, really, really good. They're already trending in that direction. A lot of people are going to sit back on their heels and go, oh, okay, cool, we can relax. No, because the enemy will quietly plan and prepare and be ready. Whether it's the enemy we see, the temporal enemy, or whether it's the spiritual enemy, they're always planning. And so we have to be watchful, pay attention to what's going on around us. It's okay to rest, but rest with one eye open. Because you never know. There is no temptation half so dangerous as not being tempted. There is no temptation half so dangerous as not being tempted. The distressed soul does not sleep. It is after we enter into peaceful confidence and full assurance that we are in danger of slumbering. Is that assurance of our salvation? Yes. Are we saved? Yes. Are we saved permanently? Yes. Is that a great opportunity for the devil to try to cause us to doubt and fear? Yes. And so even though we have that confidence of assurance, we need to be wary that we don't get overconfident, that we don't get too comfortable, that we don't start to get proud. The disciples fell asleep after they had seen Jesus transfigured on the mountaintop. Take heed, joyous Christian. Good frames are near neighbors to temptations. Be as happy as you will, only be watchful. Now, we only have to be watchful this side of heaven. So a lot of people say, well, I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. That's the worst thing we can do right now. Listen, when you read the parable about the 10 virgins, they were all asleep. They were awakened. Here's the call. The bridegroom is coming. So this is important awakening. Listen closely. Everybody awake up. The bridegroom is coming. What is the call we've been hearing? For sure, since I've been doing this, but even maybe 2 years prior, where people were making a very deliberate call, the bridegroom is coming. Do we go back to sleep? No. We prepare. If he's coming, that means he is literally on track. We need to get up. We need to be ready. So what did the wise virgins do? They trimmed their lamps. All right, let's get the light going. Trim the lamps, make sure everything's full of oil. Check, we're ready to go. And we sit and we wait and we watch. We don't go to sleep. We can sit down, we don't go to sleep. What were the foolish ones doing? Oh no, we can't, it'll do no good to trim them. We don't have enough oil. We're going to run out of oil. What do? What did they have to do? They had to go run and get oil. Well, their first response was to take from the ones who planned ahead, who were prepared. No. We're not going to give you any of ours. So it's okay to be a little bit stingy. No. We're not going to give you any of ours because if we give you some of ours, we're not going to have enough. And none of us, all of us, our lights will go out. Go to the town and get some. While they were gone, the bridegroom came. So the traveling to the town can be a version of they went back to sleep. They stopped paying attention. They weren't ready. So the call has gone out. The bridegroom is coming. We need to be prepared. We need to be ready. Not go back to sleep. How can any of us go back to sleep now after what we've seen, after what we've heard, after what has gone on, after what we've experienced these last 6 to 10 years, especially the last 3 or 4. There's been a bunch of stuff that's happened. How dare we go back to sleep? We can't. It would be irresponsible. What would be the purpose of the Lord waking so many believers up and get them fired up to do what we've been doing and have so many people talking about these things? There's never been a time in history when it's been to this level. I mean, this is around the world in every country. Never had that before, ever in history. A few places would bubble up, but never worldwide. It's worldwide. To the point that even atheists and non-believers are going, isn't that in the Bible? I think I remember hearing about that being in the Bible. And that's happening? Yeah. What does that tell us? But what do we see happening? A lot of people saying, you know what? I'm not going to watch anymore. I'm going back to my normal life. This is all bunk. They've all been lying to us. They're all crying wolf. Well, in that story, cry wolf, no wolf comes. Finally, the people are like, we don't care. We're not going to listen to this kid. Y'all put him back on wolf watch again, and he cries that we're not listening. What happened? The wolf came. So even if the cry is false a few times, or it's unjustified or unwarranted or a false sign, we should still be watching, because eventually it will be real. Eventually it is going to happen. Eventually the wolf will come. Or in this case, the Lord. The Lord will come. Just because people have been wrong doesn't mean he's not coming. He's still coming. And so we need to stay awake and be watching. We need to be found watching, awake, in prayer, so that we don't enter temptation. Because the temptation right now is to stop, because people are worn out. Now, don't take this the wrong way. A lot of people have overwhelmed themselves by hyper watching. And that's where, like, anything happens. I mean, as soon as a puff of smoke goes above the tree line, they're freaking out. Forest fire. No, that's just a cloud of dust that got kicked up by an animal, or the wind, or something. It's just a tiny cloud. Tiny little wispy, barely a cloud, float across a completely clear blue sky. Oh, torrential rain and hurricane and storms are coming. No, relax. But see, people have been hyper vigilant, and it's exhausted a lot of people. That's what a lot of the false date setting has been, hyper vigilance. But it's from a very bad place. And so people are exhausted. They're tired of this up and down, up and down, up and down. Just keep it level, even keel. We don't need to be tossed to and fro, with every wind of doctrine, but to believe the truth. To keep watching. To be settled. And to be mature and keep watching. But a lot of people are going back to sleep. And now we've had a big stir up, with Charlie Kirk and other stuff that's happened. We've had a big stir up. It's going to level back off again, especially next year. And I'm telling you this, I think next year things are going to get super, super good. Not only in our country, but in probably a few others. Things are going to get super good, especially here, but probably elsewhere too. And people are going to relax. We can relax now. A danger known is still a danger, but it's not as much of a danger because you know it's coming and you can prepare for it. A danger unknown is when the worst damage is done. Well, we know what dangers can come. We need to be vigilant. We need to pay attention. We cannot go back to sleep. One of my missions here is to keep as many people as I can awake. We have to stay awake. I see a lot of people already falling back to sleep. We get these quick flash in the pan excitements, and then everything just quiets down. So you have to do this in your own personal walk. Stay focused, stay diligent. Keep reading the Bible, keep praying to the Lord. Look, we know everything is wrapping up. The signs are all there. It is blatantly obvious. Name one time we've ever had anything like 3i Atlas passing through, to the point, and listen, this just came out, to the point that they got the asteroid agency, and these are ones that watch for these near-Earth passes and these big asteroids, and they focus on them, see where they're going, track their trajectory, see if it's a danger for us. That's what they focus on in case something comes close, that they can warn everybody, or they can, maybe they can try to do something we don't know. That they got them to track it because they have a device out there that can see on the other side of the sun. And as soon as they started watching it, 3i Atlas turned. And they don't know why it turned. So lots of information now is coming out. What is this thing? When have we ever had this? Ever? Never. I grew up in the 70s and 80s and 90s. Never. And now here we have this. And that's not the only one. There's multiple, all doing weird things. Could that be the groomsmen saying the Lord is coming? The bridegroom is coming? Maybe. He said there'd be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. Here we go. Here it is. So let us not fall asleep. Let us not get comfortable. Let's stay ready. The bride keeps her wedding dress on while she waits for the groom. She stays ready at all times and in every moment, because when he comes, according to the Jewish wedding ceremony, he comes early in the morning. Between like midnight and 3 or 4 or something like that. He comes early in the morning. All kinds of hints all over the Bible. Song of Solomon talks about the dew on his locks of hair. That's early in the morning. He'll come in the night. And they'll steal the bride away. And all the people that are going to go are all going to get stolen away. And then everybody goes to the wedding feast. And to the wedding. And those that aren't ready, those that don't wake up and get up, those that aren't prepared are shut out. So here's what we do. Since we know what's going on, since we can see and we have many confirmations coming out, if you're not watching Daily Renegade, Josh Peck, one of his children has passed away due to extremely weird and rare cancer. So he's taking a hiatus right now while they process that. But Ken Johnson is still doing videos. If you're not watching, at least him, he puts out very, very good information. If you're not watching at least him, you're doing yourself a disservice, because he gives out incredible information. Has a ton of videos to watch, covering this stuff in great detail. And there's other guys out there too, but he's the best one I've found. And he's one of the ones that's right there on the front lines of interpreting all this stuff and delivering it out there. I think he's the only one that delivers that in great detail. Josh is right next to him, but and they work together. But we need to be paying attention, because we know the time is nigh. Our redemption draweth nigh. Jesus said, when you see these things begin to happen, look up. Your redemption draweth nigh. Well, these things really started to ramp up about 8 or 10 years ago, but it's really picked up in the last few. We should be looking up. We cannot stop watching. We need to have our lamps full of oil, our wicks trimmed, and we need to be dressed and prepared and ready to go. And that's literally what that is. Prayer, reading the scriptures, paying attention to what's going on. Not fearful, but paying attention. And be living our lives every day. You live your life, do what you're going to do. You need to go buy furniture, go get furniture. You need to go get a piece of equipment, whatever you got to do, go get it. Don't stop living. But you live every day for the Lord. That's taking up your cross. You get up every day and be a Christian. Live every day to glorify the Lord. In full view of the public, no matter what. And do what the Lord has given you to do. We want to be found. We want to be caught in the act when he comes. Because he's going to come upon everybody as a thief. It won't catch us unawares because we're watching for it. But it'll catch the whole world. He'll come in. He'll sneak in. And steal us away. That's what happens. The bridegroom comes in, gets the bride, let's go. Then the groomsmen say, hey, family, hey, time to go. They start banging on doors. Hey, y'all, it's time to go. They give the cry out. Hey, y'all, time to go. So he's going to come in, but we'll be prepared, because he'll come and he'll catch us in the act of doing what we've all individually have been given to do. He'll catch us in the act of watching, eagerly expecting him, and we are. What a glorious thing to be alive now, to be awake, to be saved, and to see these things and know what they're telling us, know what they're pointing to. And we're learning every day. We're picking up more and more, but the Lord is making it obvious. The time is now. Now, here's the thing. The world at large is going to be lulled into a false sense of security. They're going to go back to sleep. What does the Bible say? Peace and safety, peace and safety. Then sudden, out of nowhere, sudden destruction will come upon them. Them, not us. We'll be gone. Where he's going to take us out of here. Then sudden destruction will come. So, don't give up. Don't look away. No matter what's happening, no matter how overwhelmed you are, no matter what's going on in your life or around you, don't give up. Don't stop looking. And stand your ground. People will say, you can give up on I don't know why you watch and believe all that stuff. Because it's true, and I know it's true. And the Lord has confirmed these things in my heart, the Holy Spirit, and in the Word. And I'm going to keep watching. You do what you want, but I'm going to keep watching. I'm going to stay focused. I'm going to stay awake. I'm not going to run to town to buy oil. I'm not going to go back to sleep. I'm going to stay ready as best I can at all times. Because that's what the Lord told us to do. So if we want to be a doer of the word, if we want to do what he said, that's some of that right there. And so the rest of the world may give up. Let's not give up. Don't be surprised if a lot of people just suddenly just give up and don't want to hear it no more. Don't be surprised about it, especially next year. Especially next year. Don't be surprised. The people just, I don't want to hear about none of that. Things are good now. We don't need to worry about it. They've been saying that for years. Don't worry about it. Okay. And then you just quietly go off to yourself and you keep watching. Because when the Lord comes, he snatches us all away. And the graveyards will have graves broken open and bodies missing. And loved ones are taken. Houses are emptied or partly emptied. Job positions are suddenly gone. The people are disappeared all around the world. Then the world will know the truth. Then the world will wake up and go, whoa. They tried to warn us and we didn't listen. We made a mistake. And it's then that many of them who we've been praying for will come to faith. Many of them that will suddenly realize this is all true and he is real. We need to believe because he took them. He took them away. And they will come to faith. So keep praying. Stay reading your Bibles. I'm telling you, though, the best things you can do is read your Bible and read it prayerfully. That's one of the key things that will set us apart from everyone else is that we actually participate in reading our scriptures personally. Because it is a personal relationship. It's a personal study. It's a personal connection. Stay in prayer and find out what the truth is. Know that truth and do not deviate from it. And you'll be fine. The Lord will lead you and guide you. And he will rescue us all. And don't let people make you feel guilty about believing that. They're trying to. Oh, you want to leave all your brethren behind? You know what? You sound like a parrot because you're repeating everything everybody else says, instead of just looking at the text and coming to your own conclusion. So who's the bad one here? The one who wants to escape the tribulation, and I do wholeheartedly, and if you're not ready, then you do whatever's between you and the Lord. I'm going with him. Or the one that's trying his best to deny it and ignore what's right in front of them. You think I'm bad because I want to go? I don't want to be here. I don't know anybody in their sane mind that would want to be here for the tribulation. That's crazy. You want to be here for the wrath of God. That's what you're saying. Well, no, that's what it is. Well, like only the first half is easy. The second half is bad. We'll be gone by then. But you said you're post-trib, so that means you're going to be here through the second half. So what are you really saying? Why don't you just let go, submit to the Lord, and believe what he told you right here in the scriptures. Believe. If you don't want to believe that, then believe the first century teachers. Every single one of them, which we have their writings, taught pre-trib that the church will be removed before the tribulation. The proof is out there. All we got to do is go look at it, read it, make a decision. It's that simple. So don't go to sleep, guys. Don't go to sleep. Stay awake, especially not now. The finish line is right around the turn. We can see the turn. The light is at the end of the tunnel. Let's not give up. Let's keep going. I don't need a date on the calendar. The Lord is my rapture. I don't need to go find him in the desert or in the synagogue or someplace. He's coming on the clouds. I don't even believe what the world tells me. I believe what he told me. Because I have found no truth that has rung perfectly true other than Scripture. Even people that were very truthful and very honest, no truth has rung more true than the Scriptures to me. So I'm going to believe what the Lord said. I'm going to take him at his word. This is what he said he's going to do. That's what he's going to do. I believe it. Lord, keep your promises concerning me. Keep your promises concerning all of us, the brethren. And for his glory and in his name. I love you all very much. I bless you all in Jesus' name. I'll see you in the next video.